Alright, so we have a new term for a new type of hookup culture that was technically discovered years ago, but it's become more prevalent in recent times. It's basically called snowmanning. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear hookup and snow, my mind automatically envisions some uncomfortable scenarios that don't exactly seem too appealing. But this trend ultimately originated from the natural human inclination to want to spend quality time with your family and friends over the holiday period. But then it morphed into also wanting to spend time with a new intimate partner as well. And this newfound holiday-inspired intimacy is supposed to just melt away, even up to just 24 hours later, just like a snowman might do once you're done playing with it. So dating coaches out in the trenches in 2019 discovered this whole topic of snowmanning, and the definition is well articulated here. Christmas is a time for celebration and presents a great opportunity to socialize and find someone special, Rachel Lloyd, relationship expert at eHarmony, told The Mirror. However, once the drinks stop flowing and decorations come down, sometimes that initial burst of chemistry wears off. Our research shows that lots of people then retreat from their new relationships, a trend we are coining snowmanning. Social media users have said that the fling melts away much like a snowman, either after the holidays or by the time the spring rolls around. But you don't realize that the meaning of this term is much deeper than you think, so we're going to continue articulating this definition here. Snowmanning, the new cold-hearted dating trend.
Listen up, single peeps. There's a new cold-hearted dating trend in town, and it's called snowmanning. Dating experts at eHarmony coined the trend after surveying 2,000 single people and realized that many new romances that started right before the holiday melted away shortly after the Christmas season,
like January.
According to Fox News, the name finds inspiration from the 1982 movie The Snowman, where after a day of having fun with his new friend, the snowman melts into a enchanting memory, just like some romances do after the new year.
Yeah.
Ouch.
London.
eHarmony found that 53% of participants who are in a festive flirtation will become snowmanning victims this year, and 1 in 6 admitted that people look more attractive during the holiday season. Maybe it's all the spiked eggnog. However, eHarmony relationship expert Rachel Lloyd says once the drinks stop flowing and decorations come down, sometimes that initial burst of chemistry wears off.
Now, there's a lot of directions that we could go with this, but the first thing that comes to mind for me is that this is primarily aimed at women. This term kind of represents women's feelings towards hooking up and casual relationships and that culture, specifically when it comes to the holidays, right? Because when I think about myself as a guy and all the rest of the boys, it doesn't matter if it's January, whether it's Halloween, whether it's Christmas, whether it's a Tuesday, we're trying to smash. Right? But I think that women might potentially feel a little bit more influenced by the holiday season. They get wrapped up in all of those emotions, and it makes them want to get a guy. It makes them want to engage in the whole dating culture a little bit more. You know, they might reopen one of their apps, or they might reach out to somebody that they might have potentially had some kind of interest in. And that might have been kindled by the feelings and influence of the season. And I would go so far as to say that it's not just the holiday season that might cause these feelings in women, but maybe Valentine's Day might also have a similar effect on women as well. And I don't think that anybody's come up for a term for women to want to engage more in, you know, casual dating culture around that time as well. But I imagine that that's also something that you'd see a trend in too. And then when these particular times of the year, when these seasons, when they end, then all of a sudden those feelings go away. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people, women in particular, I'm going to say again, that once Valentine's Day rolls around and it's gone and Christmas is gone and those feelings go away, all of a sudden the partner that they kind of picked up during those times, they go away too. But like I said, once again, it don't matter what season it is, what time of year it is, men are always trying to smash. And so this is the basis of my argument. Okay, but it's not all fun and merry times. You got to bear in mind that sometimes playing in the snow can also have negative consequences. Doctors warn of new snowmanning dating trend that could leave singletons with a nasty STI. Doctors have warned that a popular dating trend could leave singletons exposed to a range of sexually transmitted infections such as gonorrhea and syphilis. So-called snowmanning involves the interest of a new sexual partner melting away within 24 hours, and according to a recent survey, 1 in 5 Brits have been victims of it. The prevalence of this trend, coupled with the fact that 80% of Brits admit to having unprotected sex, could spark a rise in nasty infections, doctors have warned. Dr. Crystal Wiley, GP at Asda Online Doctor, warned that those who commit snowmanning often disappear without exchanging contact details with their sexual partner. This could mean previous flings who they may have passed an STI onto would be none the wiser and potentially continue to spread it. That's why she is urging people to use contraception or test for sexually transmitted infections to stay safe this festive season. A poll of 2,000 Brits over the age of 18 revealed just over a third, 33%, often have casual sex over Christmas week. So apparently snowmanning is a worldwide trend that can potentially lead to the same results that you could end up with when you're having casual, unprotected sex with people in a similar capacity that doesn't necessarily need to be restricted to the holiday. So it's not exactly a huge discovery that we've made here. But funnily enough, when certain things start to trend, there happens to be certain sub-trends that are born as the result of another trend. And so I want to introduce you to a sub-trend of snowmanning, which is called sledging. Okay, well, this is interesting. Beware of sledging, a winter holiday dating trend. Sledging can take you down a very cold ride unless you're down with it. Sledging is usually another word for sledding, but it's also become a dating term relevant to the part of the year where you tend to see snow. Sledging now refers to a relationship your significant other keeps going through the winter holiday season with the full intention of breaking up with you afterwards. It can be a cold practice that effectively snows you into believing that he or she is truly interested in you rather than just wanting some kind of companionship through the chilly holiday season. After all is said and done, being dumped after the holidays are over could leave you very surprised and hurt. Alternatively, if you're sledding your partner, you're essentially taking that person for a ride. One that is likely to send a partner tumbling down a steep emotional slope. It can also waste a lot of their time, preventing a partner from finding someone who really wants to be with them. Now, this part is really interesting because whoever wrote this article listed all of the reasons for why someone might want to engage in this sledding or technically snowmanning behavior as well. So this is a great way to get into the mind of somebody who might want to partake in this trend. Not wanting to be alone, having a companion for parties and other events, wanting a warm body around, avoiding the stigma of being single, sharing holiday costs and chores, having sex on demand, and not being able to find someone else. It's funny because when you look at this list, it provides every single means of justification for why a guy might want to get into any kind of relationship with a girl, whether it be short-term, mid-term, or long-term, right? But when I think about how this might influence somebody to want to take an extra additional step to get into a relationship to avoid some of these issues, particularly because of the influence of the holiday season, once again, I have to say it highlights a change, almost like a softening of the standards that women might maybe hold when it comes to dating, particularly during the holiday period, right? Because when you think about it, girls have a much easier time dating or being able to find a partner than guys do. So I can imagine that for these specific reasons, right, like not wanting to be single around your family during the holidays, that you might contact somebody that you might, get into a relationship with them over the holidays. It makes sense. But then when it comes to having sex on demand, like, let's be completely honest, like, who is more likely to do that casually, like men or women, really? There is one sex that values that more than the other. There's one sex that's more willing to participate in that than the other. And so therefore, if there is an increase in this behavior from a certain sex or in general over the holiday period, it would be because of a change in the attitude of one specific sex. So I hope that this point makes sense. All in all, when it comes to this concept of the increase or the trend in casual, intimate relationships during the holidays, this is something that I would definitely never participate in personally. I'm all about real connections and taking people seriously. And I'm not going to be influenced by any particular part of the year. That's not going to have any influence on my decision to get into a relationship with somebody, no matter how long that relationship lasts. But that's me personally. But for you, all I want to say is that if you do choose to partake in the casual trend of snowmanning or sledding, just make sure that you're safe. That's the most important thing. And that's the bigger picture.